Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Erica with Memory Box Candle Co. and I make videos all about making and selling candles. And it is quite the chilly day here in Southern California, so I'm all bundled up and I'm wearing my new little sweater that I had made from Printful and just has my brand name on it, Memory Box Candle Co. And I love it. It's so soft and so warm. So I got really excited to share that with you guys. But today's video is just going to be me talking about some Amazon favorites, some must-haves for candle makers and candle business owners. And so I really just wanted to compile a list of all the items that I am really loving right now. I will probably do follow-up videos, months down the line, just of updated products that I find and that I'm really loving from Amazon. So let's go ahead and get right into it. I will have everything linked in the description box below. Yes, they are affiliate links, so if you do purchase anything from those links, I do get a small commission from the sale. It doesn't take away from anything from you. It just helps me and supports my channel very, very much. So I appreciate anybody who does. But I will list everything from least expensive to most expensive, and let's go ahead and get right into it. So the first item I'm going to be talking about are these, and this is a Wick Trimmer, and these are an absolute necessity when it comes to anybody that is wanting to get into candle making, or even anybody that just loves buying candles. The lower your candle gets in the jar, the harder it is to trim the wick. So these are shaped in the perfect way to where they are able to get down lower in the jar, and you don't have to worry about trying to get scissors in there or whatever it is. You're able to just go in there and cut the wicks. And I use this all the time when I'm making candles. This is how I trim my wicks. The only issue that I have with these is sometimes when I'm constantly trimming wicks, rubbing up against the metal part on right here can kind of, cause some rubbing on my fingers, but that's about it. That's kind of a small price to pay for being able to have something like this though. The next item is relatively new to me. I did not know that this existed up until about a month ago when I had purchased it, and it's called an electric lighter. So you're able to move this, as you can see, it's very pliable. And what it is I'll try to get it up close without burning my camera. Let's see if this is even too dangerous to do. So it just causes that little electric spark in the middle and you're able to light your candles. So again, I used to take regular Bic lighters and I would try to turn the candle upside down, try to get my hand at the bottom of the candle, and it was always really hard for me to do, but now I'm able to just move this as I please, turn it on, light the candle, and then you're good to go. It's amazing. I love this thing, and it's rechargeable. The next item is something that I have talked about since the very beginning of me starting to make YouTube channels and talking about candle making, and that's a gram scale. This thing is amazing for measuring out lighter items, such as when you're weighing out fragrance oil. For some reason, even if I get a larger scale that can really go down to the 10th of all the numbers of grams, so 1.0 grams or whatever, so it'll say 1.2, 1.7, whatever it is. I just absolutely love this thing. I feel like it's super precise when I'm measuring out lighter items, and then I have my larger scale that I use for measuring out my wax. I will leave both links in the description box below in case you guys want to look at both scales, but a lot of times people don't realize that having two different scales really, really helps. For me personally, that's just what I like to do. If you're using something like a regular kitchen scale or a shipping scale, most of the time they aren't able to read those really, really light items. So this can read 0.1 grams, which is super, super, super light. So I absolutely love this thing and I could not do candle making without it. The next item is something that I've most recently started using. Some of these items that I'm talking about today are newer. Some of them I've been using for a long time, but I'm really excited about this. I should have been using this the whole time, but it's this, and it's a silicone heat resistant pad. So what I do with this is I actually put this on my scale now before I measure out my wax. So when I am measuring out my wax, it's in a liquid state and it's really hot. So it's about anywhere from 180 to 200 degrees depending. And when it goes into the pouring pitcher, it is heating up the pouring pitcher, which is then sitting directly on the scale. And I've gone through a couple different scales, and some of them have started to completely go wonky on me, and I didn't really know why. All the numbers would kind of move, and it wasn't very accurate. So the only thing that I can think of is that the direct heat onto it really kind of messed up the internals of it. So now whenever I use a scale, I'm going to protect it by using these silicone pads. Now, my family had this for years, and I've had this for years. When we moved out into this apartment, I took this from my house, but I looked up on Amazon and you can find pretty much the exact same ones. So I'm gonna order more, and I feel like this is going to really prolong and protect the equipment that I'm using. So I wish I would have done this in the beginning, but I know now. This next item, I think a lot of you will be excited because I know that I've had so many comments of you guys saying that when I use those little paper cups, the little like tiny Dixie cups that I would use to measure out fragrance oil, you guys would make comments that, oh, I'm just throwing those away. And yes, I was constantly throwing those away, and I would try to reuse them during the process of me making candles that day. But a lot of times, the more fragrance oil I would put in it and then pour out and then try to put more fragrance oil in it, it just would start to seep out and it would just become a mess. So I found these on Amazon, and I am so excited about them. They are little silicone measuring cups, and they have that little spout pour thingy to them. So I'm super excited to be able to use this instead of just constantly throwing away paper cups. So I can use these, keep them probably for their own kind of scent category, and maybe even keep them per scent. I can probably label them at the bottom of what scent I typically use in these. I can just wash them out and then I can reuse them, and I'm so excited. This next item, I would probably say, has changed the entire game of making candles for me. It has made it so much more of a pleasant experience, and that is my respirator. So this is basically exactly what it sounds like. I wear it, and it has these filters right here, and it makes it to where I don't have to inhale all of the fragrances in the air. And I have had people make comments like, oh, like if it bothers you so much, you shouldn't make candles. Like, I'm gonna figure it out. Like, I'm not gonna stop doing what I love to do because it, gives me a headache or it makes me feel very, kind of suffocated in my chest, that very heavy feeling in my chest. So I'm not gonna just give up on what I love because it's bothering me. I'm gonna try to figure out another way, and I have. I have fans going, I have windows open, and I even close my bedroom door as well. So if I need a break, which I do, I will take this off and I'll go into my room for about 20 minutes or so, and the scent doesn't go in there, so I kind of have an extra space to go into just to take a break. I can take my mask off. And I'm not saying that if I come out here when there's candles going that I'm going to just, feel so suffocated and I can't stand it. I made candles that way for so long and I just kind of dealt with it. But having this, I mean, it has made the world of difference for me for candle making. And I know I've talked so highly about this, but for somebody like me who has asthma, and I already am very, very sensitive in general, I have very sensitive skin, and just being able to have this kind of protection for me and my body, it works for me. It might not work for you. I've had people comment saying that they absolutely love to be surrounded by it. That's great for you, but for me, I need a little bit of protection. I already know what it smells like. I don't need to be surrounded by it. But I will leave this linked in the description box below, just so you guys know it does not come with these filters right here. So I bought these separately from a local welding supply store, and the only reason why I did that is because the reviews on these filters were weird. A lot of negative reviews. So I didn't want to buy it. I'd rather go local. So when you guys look at the link, it's just for the mask itself. It's not for the filters. So you'll have to get them separately, but it is well worth it. And I wear a size small, just so you guys know. All right, this next item is more for the business side of candle making and running a candle business. And I'll tell you guys why. So it is a tripod to hold your cell phone. So when you are trying to make TikToks, Instagram videos, even if you're trying to stabilize it while you're taking product photos, having a tripod helps so much. I actually used to record my YouTube videos using this tripod right here, and it helped me for the longest time. But I still use it when I'm making videos on Instagram, or I'll probably be using it for TikTok because I finally made my first TikTok video, which is really exciting. So I'll probably need it for that, but it helps so much when it comes to the business side of things. So I really wanted to throw that in there because I use it all the time, and I really think that it would help anybody else that is starting their candle business and needs to kind of stabilize their phone in a certain position while they're taking photos or videos. This next item is known as a candle making staple, and that is a heat gun. So I've been using a heat gun a lot more recently because of the wax blend that I've done with my containers. I've noticed a lot more sinkholes around my wicks, so I have to just go through, smooth out the tops, and then it's good to go. I will admit to you guys, I have not used a heat gun from Amazon. However, I wanted to include it in this video because you can get heat guns from Amazon. This one is from Harbor Freight Tools, but I will leave a link in the description box below to both this exact one that I got from Harbor Freight Tools, or if you want to get one from Amazon, I will leave a link to the one that I would purchase if I was going on Amazon to purchase a heat gun. So just so you guys know, but this is quite the staple in the candle making world and definitely a necessity. The next item is a laser thermometer. So what this is it is a digital laser thermometer. So you are able to check the temperature of your wax without having a pronged thermometer inside of it. So you're able to basically just turn it on, hold it down, and it says the temperature of whatever it's pointing at. You definitely don't want to point this at yourself. It's not to be used on people. I think they actually changed the title that says do not use on humans, but it works well for wax. Now, I will say, this is not as accurate as using a pronged thermometer. I have noticed that the temperature difference is about 10 to 15 degrees. So whatever the temperature says on here, I personally have noticed with whatever I'm using with my Presto Pot and inside of my pitcher, that it will show the temperature as 10 to 15 degrees hotter than it actually is. So I've gotten used to it with candle making. I haven't had any issues with using this and just keeping in the back of my mind to subtract about 10 degrees and see if that's, you know, kind of the range that I'd want to add the fragrance oil to or pour at or whatever it is. So just so you guys know, in my personal experience, I've noticed that this is not as accurate, but let me tell you, it is lightning fast to find the temperature, and I don't have to leave my other thermometer sitting inside of the Presto Pot with the lid kind of balancing on it. So this is worth it. I love it so, so much, and I will continue using it even if I feel like it's not as accurate. I haven't had any issues with my candle making because of it. These last three items I will not be able to show you on camera because they are either too big or it would be too much of a hassle for me to bring over here. So the next item that I'm going to talk about is a microwave stand. So this is what I use to put my Presto Pot on top of. It has made everything so much easier because when I have a Presto Pot with the spout installed, I used to have to bring it over onto my counter, rest my pouring pitcher on top of my trash can, and it was always me taking it over and trying to make it work. And now I'm able to just keep it over in my kitchen. It sits on top of the microwave stand, and I'm able to keep kind of everything tucked underneath it. And it makes a world of difference to just rest my Presto Pot on top of that and have the pouring pitcher underneath it. I absolutely love this thing. And then the next item is my Presto Pot. So I will leave a link to all of my Presto Pots in the description box below, but I have 3 different sizes that I use. I use 2 that have a spout installed. They are from Soylite Candles. One is a 6-quart Presto Pot. The other is an 8-quart Presto Pot. And then I have another Presto Pot that does not have a spout installed, so it is not converted to be specifically used for a wax melter, but I use it that way anyways. And I just use a ladle to ladle out the wax, but that one is a 10-quart Presto Pot. And I absolutely love that one. It is the cheapest one out of all of them because it doesn't have that spout. And I believe there is a video that Jeff Stanley did where you were able to actually install a spout yourself. And I would love to do that, but I don't think I have enough room for another microwave stand to put that on top of it. So that'll probably be later on in life when we actually get a house and I have a little bit more room. But as of right now, I love all of my Presto Pots and it has helped me greatly. I will also leave a little card up here to my in-depth Presto Pot review video, just so in case you guys don't know what that is or you want a little bit more information, I will link that above for you guys to check out. And then my final item that I want to talk about in today's video, again, has to do with the business side of running a candle business. And those are my photography lights. So I recently got these new photography lights. I started off with these other ones that were really big, and these ones are about the size of like an iPad or something. I think that's the best way to describe it. They are so much smaller and they still offer a lot of light, a lot of bright white light when you're taking product photos, but you're able to maneuver inside while you're taking photos, because sometimes it would be to the point where I would have to crawl underneath the lights in order to get to my candles and be able to take photos. So it is so much better to have these lights because they're so much smaller, but they still provide a lot of light for you to take really nice product photos, which is so important for being able to sell your candles. You have to have good product photos. And another plus to these lights is that they don't have a cord attached to them. You just pre-charge them and then you can just turn them on, put them wherever you need to put them, and you don't have to worry about needing to hook it into a wall if where you're taking photos doesn't have an outlet. So for instance, if you wanted to take it outside, you totally could. I have noticed that if you have it on the highest setting of 100%, they do tend to use up the battery a little bit quicker. I believe the battery on these is between 2 to 3 hours, but if you're just taking photos, that should be more than enough time. But I love these things. But anyways, I really hope that you guys enjoyed watching today's video all about the Amazon must-haves and everything that I'm loving from Amazon for candle making and my candle business. If you guys liked today's video, go ahead and leave it a thumbs up, as well as subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And don't forget to follow me over on Instagram and TikTok at MemoryBoxCandleCo. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye, guys.